Albert Einstein is widely regarded as one of the greatest physicists of all time and a symbol of genius and creativity. His scientific discoveries revolutionized our understanding of the universe, and his humanitarian ideals inspired millions of people. But behind the iconic image of the wild-haired, mustachioed, and benevolent scientist, there was a darker and more complex side to Einstein's personality and life. In this video, we will explore some of the aspects of Einstein's character that are often overlooked or ignored, and reveal how his genius came at a high personal cost. One of the most controversial aspects of Einstein's life was his relationship with women. Einstein married twice and had several affairs and illegitimate children. His first wife was Mileva Maric, a Serbian physicist who was his fellow student at Zurich Polytechnic. She was the only female in a class full of men and was considered to be an exceptionally gifted mathematician. However, her academic career came to an abrupt stop in 1901 when she became pregnant with Einstein's child. She traveled back to Serbia and gave birth to a daughter, Liesl, whose fate remains unknown. Some historians believe that she died of scarlet fever, while others speculate that she was given up for adoption. Einstein never saw his daughter and rarely mentioned her in his letters. Mileva returned to Switzerland alone and married Einstein in 1903. They had two sons, Hans and Eduard, but their marriage was unhappy and strained. Einstein was often absent, immersed in his scientific work, and unfaithful to his wife. He also did not acknowledge Mileva's contribution to his research, even though some scholars argue that she co-authored some of his papers and helped him develop the theory of relativity. In 1912, Einstein began an affair with his cousin, Elsa Lowenthal, a divorced mother of two daughters. He eventually divorced Mileva in 1919 and married Elsa the same year. Einstein's treatment of Mileva was harsh and humiliating. He imposed a list of conditions on her, demanding that she serve him meals, do his laundry, keep his room tidy, and refrain from any intimacy or companionship. He also threatened to leave her if she did not comply. He wrote to her, "You will renounce all personal relations with me, as far as maintaining them is compatible with your self-respect. You will expect no affection from me, and you will draw no conclusion from my friendly or unfriendly behavior toward you." Mileva agreed to these terms, hoping to save their marriage, but to no avail. She suffered from depression and eventually moved back to Zurich with her sons. She received a small portion of Einstein's Nobel Prize money as part of their divorce settlement, but she struggled financially and emotionally for the rest of her life. She died of a stroke in 1948 at the age of 72. Einstein's second marriage was also unhappy and unfaithful. He continued to have affairs with other women, some of whom were his students or colleagues. He also had a distant and cold relationship with his children, especially his younger son, Eduard, who suffered from schizophrenia and was institutionalized. Einstein rarely visited him and did not provide adequate support for his treatment. He wrote to his elder son Hans, "I have no better answer to give you than that human affairs are necessarily imperfect and that one must not expect too much of them." Einstein also had a daughter with another woman named Evelyn, who was born in 1918. He never met her and kept her existence a secret until his death. Einstein's dark side was not limited to his personal life. He also had some questionable political and ethical views that contradicted his image as a pacifist and a humanitarian. For example, he supported the creation of the atomic bomb and urged President Roosevelt to develop it before Nazi Germany. He later regretted this decision and campaigned for nuclear disarmament, but he could not undo the consequences of his actions. He also advocated for a world government and a one-world currency that would prevent wars and conflicts. He wrote, "The only salvation for civilization and the human race lies in the creation of a world government with security of nations founded upon law." However, some critics argued that this vision was naive and unrealistic, and that it would undermine the sovereignty and diversity of nations. Einstein also had some prejudices and biases that reflected the social norms of his time. He expressed racist and sexist views, especially during his travels to Asia and Africa. He wrote in his diary, "It would be a pity if these Chinese supplant all other races. For the likes of us, the mere thought is unspeakably dreary." He also wrote, The woman is not equal to the man in her mental capacities, and therefore she is not qualified to participate in the tasks of the highest level. He also had a disdain for authority and religion, and often clashed with his teachers and peers. He wrote, "The authority of the teacher is often a hindrance to those who want to learn. The only way to learn is to do it yourself." He also wrote, "The word God is for me nothing more than the expression and product of human weaknesses, the Bible a collection of honorable but still primitive legends, which are nevertheless pretty childish." Einstein was a complex and contradictory figure who defied the stereotypes and expectations of his society. He was a genius and a visionary, but also a flawed and fallible human being. He made groundbreaking discoveries, but also made grave mistakes. He inspired generations of scientists and thinkers, but also alienated and hurt many people. He was a dreamer, a rebel, a lover, and a loner. He was Albert Einstein, and this is his dark side.